So
Still don't know how to start these things.
you guys remember when I told you about how I had different ideas for TF2 kill sounds?
Yes.
That list has grown exponentially.
As of now.
What
yeah.
what on earth have you added to it? Lay it on us.
So there's a quote from Germa, "Life is pain."
Yes, of course. Very good.
There's that. There's do you remember hearing about that game, Hunt Down the Freeman?
Yes. Oh
So
my god.
there's a part where stupid acting, directing, whatever, the guy says, "You fucked up my face." That's one. There's somehow Palpatine returned.
Yes. Very good.
There's They Fly Now. There's JonTron saying "La Resistance."
Very good.
Except for the spy.
You know, if I could make it class specific, I would, but unfortunately, I can't. There is Discombobulate. There's a million Joe Rogans all saying in unison, "It's entirely possible." There's
that sounds about right.
There's the classic Deus Volt.
Deus Volt.
Deus
Yeah.
Volt.
Yes.
Of course.
Deus Volt.
There's there's a quote from The Emperor's New Groove when Yzma is a cat and she says, "I win."
That one would be great.
It's great.
I like that one.
There's any of Hades' yells in the Disney Hercules movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's any of the multiple times the 10th Doctor says "what."
So wow, you have quite a few options.
I'm not through the
there.
list yet.
Oh no.
There's the Cat in the Hat, Mike Myers, the Cat in the Hat saying "ka-ching."
Very good. Yeah, yeah.
There's that yell from She's a Wolf in Mouse Clothing.
Oh yeah. Which
There-
reminds me, did y'all get that video I sent?
Yes, I did.
Yep.
Or it's that video, but like anime figurines.
There's Vinny saying "Speen."
Speen. Oh, I remember Speen.
There's Barry B. Benson saying "You like jazz?"
I like jazz.
B-movie is an untapped mine that I'll have to
It
go
is.
through.
Yeah, there's got to be so many good lines in there to choose from.
There's from Cars. There's Speed. I am Speed. See, if I could make it class specific, I'd do that whenever I kill the scout. There, and of course, on the topic of Owen Wilson, there's "wow."
What?
And then my personal favorite is during this apologies for the political reference, but during the campaign last year, now President Joe Biden said, "Listen, fat." And that's some of the list.
Oh my god.
Some of the list. That's most of the list, but there's others.
I love it. I love everything you got on there. They're
It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I'm particularly fond of the "I win." That one's great.
Yes, that one is great. That one's really good. It's tough to beat Mufasa screaming as he falls to his death, but
that one absolutely fits. That one fits better than I think anything.
It's so good, and the way I cut it, you just get a little bit of Simba yelling "no" at the end. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
Welcome,
one and all,
to Talk the Plank.
The show where we talk about stuff and things.
Yes, one of these days we'll talk about a plank.
One of these days.
We'll do that at the live show.
Yep. Our great live show sold out, Madison Square Garden. It's going to be epic.
There we go. It's going good. We'll do it. We'll do a world tour.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you allowed to buy planks in certain parts of the world?
I would assume so. I doubt there's.
Or are we going to have to? Are we going to have to smuggle planes into planks into certain countries?
By God. We'll set up an underground plank smuggling ring.
I mean, I don't know. We might have trouble getting a plank into China.
Might be a little difficult.
No problem getting a plank into Taiwan though.
Yeah.
No problem.
You know the nation state of Taiwan.
Yep.
The independent nation state of Taiwan.
Yes, the independent nation state of Taiwan.
There goes all of our Chinese listeners.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Well, we didn't need them anyway.
Okay, did they actually fire that one Hololive girl because she said Taiwan again?
They didn't fire her. She just resigned. Like, cause she was getting basically ganged on by all of the Chinese aunties. So she basically was like,
Didn't
I can't
that
take this anymore.
happen
I'm
months
going.
ago?
Yes, it happened literally in September.
Why do any of them give a shit?
Good question. I guess nationalism knows no national origin. Everybody's in on it.
How do you
Everybody's
hold that
happy
kind of
with it.
vitriol for that long
Well,
over
see,
nothing?
Yeah.
see,
Got lied.
here's the thing: if you don't, then your social score goes down, and then you can't get on a plane.
Yeah, but I heard rumors that some of them lost social score points because they were using VPNs to harass her anyway.
Oh,
So
boy.
congratulations, you played yourself. I still don't understand.
They
just really like China, man.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they love the nation of China? There's nothing wrong with China as far as anyone is aware.
Yeah.
I hear
problem.
Zhejiang is a wonderful province.
Yes.
As it was informed to me by the live action Mulan movie, where they thanked the Zhejiang province in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Did they now?
Yes, they did.
My God.
And if you look closely in the background of one of those shots, you can see a nice little day camp where they allow Uyghur Muslims to go.
They were just vibing.
They're just vibing over there. It's fine.
Having a party,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Just like you know, just like those. It's just like those little commercials they had in Germany in the 1940s for those camps.
Yeah, very pleasant.
Very, very pleasant. They have a little cafe and everything. Oh, it's nice.
Hope they fixed the showers.
Yeah. That was a mistake. That was an oopsie. Well, this got real dark.
It's got real dark real quick.
Anyway.
That's what happens when you talk about tyrannical dictatorships.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call them, dictatorships.
Yes, of course.
But anyway, we've had weeks.
It's
yes,
a good
we
thing
have.
we're not popular.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Castle Super Beast gets popular with jokes that are darker than that. Have you seen some of their podcast titles?
They're great.
Oh, it's great.
I love them.
I love the bit.
Super Beast just isn't my thing.
I love the beat. I love the bit they do every year or so where someone who works at a gaming magazine like writes in and says, here's all the podcast titles that kept me from being able to recommend you guys.
Oh no.
That's beautiful.
But anyway, how has been your week, Mr. A.A. Ron?
Yes, me. I've done some stuff and things. So in terms of things I've played, actually, I've kind of been dialing back my game time as of late. I don't know what it is, but I just can't quite get into like single player games as much as I used to be able to. So I've kind of been struggling on that front. So I haven't played too much. I
You
did
could
play.
join me and Zach playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Maybe I should, honestly. I need something to pick up, man. Something to fill the time.
You can
Well,
play it on
it'll
your
definitely
PlayStation.
fill the time.
Oh boy, will it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I don't know if I want that much of a time commitment. I feel like I'll just get absolutely sucked into it and put in like 1,000 hours or something.
Don't worry, it's free until level 60, and that includes the award-winning expansion Heavensward.
Ah, yes, the award-winning expansion Heavensward. I love the award-winning expansion Heavensward.
Yes.
Anyway, what I did play was I got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things.
Which is pretty good. Truth be told, I'm not too crazy for like their general gameplay loop. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of the 2016 game, but this one I think probably played off of the last one really well, I think. So yeah, it was a ton of fun. People say they're like the Pixar movies of games, and I think that's a fairly accurate assumption or
Yeah.
assertion rather. Yeah,
The Crash, Spyro, and Medieval remakes all look like Pixar movies.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty neat game. The gameplay's pretty fun. I like the arsenal you get. Like there are multiple weapons where if you hit an enemy with every single enemy has a unique animation for it. Like there's one that turns enemies into like trees. Like you throw a ball at them and like it covers them in like overgrowth. And like every single enemy has a unique like coating that gets applied to them, which is really cool. There's also an electric weapon where every enemy has a unique, like being electrocuted animation, which is really cool. Every enemy, there's an ice weapon, and every enemy has a unique freeze animation. It's really cool. There's a lot of love you can tell put into each one of these, which definitely shows through. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so pretty darn good game. I had fun with it. Um, Beyond that, I beat BioShock again.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good game. That one still holds up even after all these years. Gunplay is fun. I didn't find myself using the plasmids too much though. I think that was I don't know why. I stuck to mostly guns, which like you're supposed to use plasmids more, but it's just like you can kind of beat the game without them. So I just did. Um, it's still
Who
pretty
cares
neat
about
though.
this
They're a neat
mechanic?
addition. Yeah, who cares?
Ignore this whole
Um,
mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. Except for shocking, I used my electric ability to shock like turrets and stuff because that like immediately disarms them, and then you can get into the hacking mini game. Which the hacking mini game, like the first few times you're like, oh yeah, this is pretty neat, and then the next few times you're like, well, this is starting to get a little old. And the next few times after that, you're like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. And then about 50,000 times going through the mini game again, you finally beat the game, and you're like, thank God, I never have to see this stupid mini game ever again.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that
Yeah.
reminds me of the freaking planet scanning from Mass Effect 2.
Yep. Another great little mini game.
Dude,
That was absolutely fantastic.
I have a playthrough going of a replay of that game going right now, and I modded the game to get rid of those freaking mini games.
Fantastic.
It got rid of all the other mini games, which I didn't care as much. Like I was fine with those mini games, but it got rid of planet scanning, and I hated that so much.
Yeah, it's much better with it not in there. I'm sure. Did you pick up the legendary edition or whatever it's called that had all the remastered games?
Not yet. I will at some point because honestly, I could just keep replaying Mass Effect. I love that. I love that trilogy.
Yeah,
it's a shame they only made 3 games.
It's a shame, darn shame, crying shame. But yeah, so I beat BioShock. Good game. Then I played on a whim because I had heard about it years ago, and I saw it gotten good reviews. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give that a try. It's only $5. I got Downwell. Have you guys heard of Downwell?
Nope.
Heard the name.
Yeah, so it originally started as a mobile game where basically you play as a guy with gun boots and you're falling down a well and you have to shoot enemies as you fall down a well, and you basically have to make it all the way to the bottom of the well.
Yeah, I've seen this game. It looks
yeah,
cool.
and it's a roguelike. So every time you go through, it's new, and then there are individual levels and stuff. So I had a little bit of fun with it. Truth be told, I actually didn't play it for too long because I don't know, it wasn't grabbing me. But I mean, like, I really like the concept, and for a roguelike, it's not too bad. But yeah, I got maybe 2 or 3 hours out of it, which for $5 isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too terrible. It's a very basic game. Like, there are only like a small handful of upgrades you can get, and not all of them are particularly very helpful. So, the roguelike elements don't really matter all that much. Like, you're basically going to get through with just like your basic weaponry, and just like getting better at dodging enemy attacks. So, the roguelike elements are kind of inconsequential. But yeah, it's a good game. neat art style. I like the simplistic pixel art design. Yeah, you can. You
Yeah.
can. And then the only other thing I've really played is my cousin and I recently started on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in the zombies mode. They have a map called Dead Ops Arcade, which is like a top-down shooter that takes place in like the zombies world. Um, and they recently added a first-person mode to it, which is about a million times better than the base game because the base level is just it's not fun at all. You progress through basically individual stages or arenas that you play a number of rounds in, and you progress to one arena after the next, after the next, after the next. And in third person mode or top down mode, you get killed in one hit, which makes it basically impossible to get past like arena two. So in the first person mode, it takes four hits to get down, and your health regenerates over time. So it is much, 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 much easier, which makes it much, much, much more fun because you can actually progress in it. So so we had a ton of fun. There are a bunch of wacky upgrades and crazy ideas for levels, which is a ton of fun. It's a shame that the gameplay loop was not by itself good enough to play before now because I've been really having a blast with it. We've almost gotten to the end twice, but unfortunately, the last few arenas are just stupidly difficult. So yeah, that was a ton of fun. I've been having a blast with that, and I can't wait to try it again and beat it. Maybe we'll get it next time. Um, so that just about covers everything I've played. I was going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Mhm.
I'm waiting to buy that just because I just recently bought Downwell, so I'm just like waiting for a bit to make another purchase. But from what I've seen, apparently it's pretty good.
I've
So
heard it's very good.
yeah, so I
It's
definitely want to pick it up.
it's another reason for me to go back through that game.
Yeah, and it's only like what, $20? So
Something like
yeah, I
that,
mean,
yeah.
I could go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so that just about covers everything I've played in the last 2 weeks. Now, in terms of things I've watched, I've seen a few other things. First of all, I finished up "Don't Toy with Me, Miss Nagatoro," um, and yeah, that show is a nice little slice of life, uh, noodle arm extravaganza, which is great. Um, yeah, very much more edgy than I was expecting, but that was my bad.
Well,
I forgot.
it's the same situation as freaking interspecies reviewers, where the anime is a lot more raunchy than the source material.
Yep, yep. Though I'd say it's pretty accurate to the source material. I just forgot that it was all in there. So I was getting in and I
Ah.
was like, you know
Oh,
what?
you just blocked it
I
out.
I forgot this was in here. Hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
YouTube's still desperately trying to show me clips of that.
you gotta. I'm sure the Noodle Arm compilation is now much longer because of it. The show is completed, so you must watch the Noodle Arm compilation completed.
Yeah, but I'm
Um,
worried if I do that, then or just bombard me with even more.
It never stops.
Never. But yeah, so um, I finished that up. Good show. Then I watched a little bit more Samurai Champloo. I've been meaning to watch more of that. It's like every time for some reason, like it's a good show, but it's just I don't know what it is. It's just not grabbing me as much as I wanted it to. I think I've just kind of been spoiled by Attack on Titan. I expect there to be tension in every second of the show, and when it's not there, it just can't keep my attention anymore. I don't know what it is.
From the very little I've seen of Samurai Champloo, it feels like a lesser Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah, it's absolutely filled with anachronisms. Like the whole point is that it's like, hey, what if we took samurai culture and mixed it with hip hop culture in much the same way Cowboy Bebop was, hey, what if we take sci-fi and mix it with the Western? So
The
yeah, it's
westerns
very
and
similar in that way.
jazz.
And jazz, baby, jazz.
Bebop jazz.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it is a good show though, and I do need to get back to watching it some more. Yeah, very good. Um let's see. And then I started watching recently Tuca and Birdie, which is a nice little animated show. That is just that show is like what I imagine doing LSD is like. Uh,
Is that the one that looks like BoJack and got canceled after one
it
season?
Yeah, it looks like BoJack got canceled after one season and got picked back up by Adult Swim, where it's now continuing in its second season.
Hey, that's
Uh,
good.
yeah, no, that show is absolutely insane, and I love every second of it. It's one of the most engaging shows I've seen in a while. It's just because they have so many visual gags, it's insane. Like there's like every like 30 seconds they have like the characters cut away to like it's almost like the Family Guy, you know how they have those gags where they cut away to
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, but it's like instead of that, it's like some clever like crazy like wackadoodle freaking comedy bit. I don't even know how to describe it, and
So
I
actually
unfortunately
taking real advantage of the animation medium.
yes. Oh my god, yes. They get so creative with how they animated it, which I really wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be more like BoJack Horseman, where it's sort of like limited animation, sort of like basic designs. But no, they went all out. There are even plant people in the show, which are literally just humans with plants for heads, which is great. Also,
Is there a weed guy?
there probably is. I can't remember. There might have been. But they have like plants, like plant heads. There are like trains that are just giant snakes and slugs. Um, there are um, buildings which are just like topless women. It's insane. The
Uh,
show is literally
What
I
the
cannot do
heck
it
is
any
this
justice.
thing?
I cannot do it any justice. The show is absolutely balls to the wall crazy and definitely worth your time. Um, yeah, no. They go to at one point they go to a lake that's just a bunch of jelly, and I'm pretty sure they reference Neon Genesis Evangelion at one point because like there are giant jars of jelly floating in the giant lake of jelly. It's amazing. It's absolutely
Oh
amazing.
my gosh.
Yeah, no, I would highly recommend it. It's a bonkers show and worth every second of your time. Um, I'm having a blast with it. There are only 2 episodes into season 2, but they have not skimped on quality after making the switch to Adult Swim. Though they have had to swear a lot less,
Ah.
oh,
which is unfortunate because the original show had a lot of swearing, which I felt apt. But yeah, um,
Where could you find that?
it's on the first season's on Netflix, and then the second season, I'm pretty sure it's on Adult Swim's YouTube channel, but I'm watching it on a very legitimate website at the
Ah,
moment.
yes, very legitimate.
Uh, yes, so there's that. But yeah, no, I don't want to spoil anything. Like any of the visual gags, like it's just so clever. It's just some of the most clever writing, clever animation I've seen in any show in a very, very long time, and I can't praise it enough. Um, but yeah, so you can watch it on Netflix. So that was in terms of TV shows all I've watched. But I did go out to see. Did I see more than one movie? I think I may have just seen. I went to go see In the Heights.
Oh yeah.
Which yeah, I went out to the theater. I know it was on HBO Max, but like I just wanted the theater experience. So
Hmm.
my family was all out of town and it was just me. So I was like, you know what, this is a good chance to go see it because the rest of my family had already or my sisters and my mom had already seen it when they were on vacation in New Mexico. So basically, me and my dad were the only ones who hadn't seen it, and I know my dad wasn't interested, so I was just like, I'll go see it. So I went and saw it, and yeah, it was pretty good. I don't know if it's quite like the 98% it got on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was still pretty decent. The songs were all really catchy. If they were a bit hard to make out because the audio mixing wasn't 100% there.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
but the
not
songs were all
good.
really
hey, there was
catchy.
lightning storm nearby.
Oh shoot.
Oh,
Yeah, it's raining here too.
it's been raining
Um,
most of the day today.
yeah,
It
which I'm
hasn't
here
been
for.
raining here, but for some reason there's just lightning somewhere.
Oh
I
well,
prefer
that's
cool
comforting.
and rainy over hot and sunny any day of the week.
Zeus is just rolling over there in Indiana.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. Um, But yeah, so catchy songs, um, pretty good plot, very heartwarming story, um, with great acting by all the characters, all the cast. So yeah, I would recommend that one. That one's pretty fun. If you like musicals, then I think you'll like In the Heights.
I have been thinking about giving it a shot, but I'm not the biggest fan of Hamilton, which
Oh, really? You're
I
not?
know is sacrilege, but it is quite simply I just don't like hip hop.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And it like Hamilton has some of the exceptions to that rule. There are
Mhm.
some hip hop songs in Hamilton that I like, but generally even with all that, and as good as the story is, I just don't particularly like it all that much. I am gonna watch the Disney Plus thing because I've heard, because
Yeah,
at the very least I want to see like the production value and everything, because I've heard
yeah,
like staging wise the show's fantastic.
it is. Yeah, we also watched it on Disney Plus, and yeah, no, it's definitely worth your time.
Hmm.
I'd say.
But
Yeah.
like at least listening to the soundtrack, I don't know if the recordings and the recording they did was any different, but with the soundtrack, the last, or not the last song, but close to the last song, with the duel between Aaron Burr and Hamilton, Aaron Burr freaking kills it, and
Yeah.
then it builds up to this big old climax, and then Hamilton has to do his just has to go off on his own, and Lin-Manuel Miranda couldn't act as well as he needed to.
Yeah, no, he's not the best singer or actor. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. Yeah, he's not exceptional. He actually makes a cameo in The Heights, and I mean, he does decently in it, I guess. Much better. He's much better on screen than stage, I guess.
at the very least, he can't be worse than he was in Mary Poppins Returns. But
Oh,
that's not
yes.
entirely his fault, to be fair.
No, yeah, the writing in that just wasn't exceptional.
Ugh, it was
Yeah.
terrible. Oh my gosh, that.
Okay.
Oh, we're back.
Welcome back.
That disc space pop up was terrifying. Where were we?
I was talking about In the Heights, and that it's a
Yes.
fairly decent movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was going off on Mary Poppins Returns. Only thing I liked
yeah.
in that movie was the part where it was animated, and that is only because I just dearly miss old Disney 2D animation.
We'll never get it again. I'm
No,
afraid the 3D
it's
era
all
has
3D.
arrived.
It's all 3D, and unfortunately 3D animation. I don't. It's. I have trouble deciding whether it's my least favorite form of animation or stop motion, and it's not that I dislike either, it's just that 2D animation is my favorite by far.
Yeah, yeah. 2D. I really do miss the days of 2D animated movies. Wish they'd make a comeback, but alas,
the last Disney 2D animated movie was Winnie the Pooh.
dang, was it really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was ages ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the reason why when I watch anime, I love the anime, and then they do the CG sections, which I'm like, these are the worst things I've ever seen, and
Oh,
get very angry.
remember Envy in freaking Full
Oh
Metal
my
Alchemist
god,
Brotherhood?
that is terrifying. It is, maybe that's what they were going for.
I
Maybe they
hope
were
it's what they're
trying to
going
make
for.
it terrifying.
Oh
God,
man.
yes. But anyway, so that's about I think all I've watched in the last 2 or so weeks. In terms of reading,
Yes.
uh,
Yes, tell me
I've
more.
been yes, I have been reading more of Brendan Sanderson. So I've made it through. I think last time we met, I had finished up Mistborn. I think the first book.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so then I got started on The Well of Ascension. I am now a little over halfway through. I just got to the point where um, a leader made it inside of the city and made a discussion with one of the main characters,
I
if you
believe I know
understand.
what you're referring to, yes.
Okay, yes. But yeah, no. So this is a very good book. I'm loving The Well of
Yes.
Ascension. It's absolutely fantastic. I was kind of worried that without Kelsier being a character in this one, I thought I might not like it as much. But
Hmm.
I think all of the other characters are still carrying the plot fairly well. just because Kelsier was such a great character in Mistborn. But yeah,
and Ellen freaking takes off in Well of Ascension.
yeah, he's absolutely killing it. I love his character.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Ellen's fantastic.
yeah. Uh, I'm loving the mystery surrounding all of the deepness and etc. The mists. I love that mystery aspect. It's definitely keeping me hooked to the book. Um, I've been just burning through it. I'll probably finish the latter half faster than the first half because things are starting to pick up, and I'm
Yep,
getting excited.
it's the Brandon Sanderson avalanche.
Yep, sure enough.
Oh boy, Well of Ascension has a good one.
Yeah. So I'm loving it so far. Can't wait to get to the Hero of Ages, see what
Oh man,
that's all
I
about.
can't wait. There's a moment with the villain, like the okay. So there's like two main villains in this one.
Yeah.
The younger one.
Yeah.
There's a moment right at the end with him, and I can't wait for you to get to that because that was a moment that was just like mind blowing. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I'm excited.
It's great.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of like literature, that's sort of all I've read. But I have been reading a little bit of manga as well. I've read. I've I s- I was reading One Punch Man up until like July of last year, and then I took a break on it because I wanted there to be more chapters so I could just sort of binge them at some point. And that some point came like 3 days ago when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read all the way up to the point that the manga is currently at. And by God, does it not disappoint? The manga for One Punch Man is absolutely astounding. Like, there's great pacing, great art, great characterization. It is absolutely exceptional, especially in the art department. The creator, or not the creator, the manga artist. That's not one who did the original. Murata, he is absolutely killer.
Oh yeah,
Um,
his art is the art of the manga is phenomenal, and it
yeah,
makes some of the jokes better than the anime second season. From everything I've seen is quite bad, but the first
yeah.
season some of the jokes are better in the manga, some of the jokes are better in the anime, and it's all due to just that guy's impeccable line detail.
Yeah, no, he is absolutely bonkers. Um, it got so good.
That freaking bit with the gorilla guy is so much better in the manga.
So, oh my God, I love that section.
Just that stone face with extreme detail all over it. It's so good. But then the bit like right before with the mole guy is better in the anime because Saitama's face just comes out of nowhere. Oh man.
um, but yeah, very good. It was so good, in fact, that whenever I fully caught up, I was like, okay, I need to, I have to see what else happens in the story next. So I decided to go try and give the web comic a go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I figured out, oh, the manga and the webcomic are actually very different. What
Oh,
actually happens, but I thought it was a direct adaptation, but it's not.
really?
Murata rewrote a lot of the scenes in the from the webcomic. So I was like, dang, I'm sure the webcomic's really good, but between the art being worse and like the story having diverged in so many places in the past, it'd basically be where I'd have to read it from the beginning onward, and it's like, I don't really want to do that. So I'm just gonna keep waiting for more chapters of the manga to come out because my God, the last chapter I was on ended like on a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, I have to know what happens next. So it absolutely killed me. Then I think I did read a little bit of the Demon Slayer manga. The Demon Slayer manga is really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would read that, except the anime was animated by Ufotable.
Yeah. And it's
So
absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't hold a candle. It's yeah. Like the art's still fine in the manga, but man, oh man, is it weird going from the anime to the manga? Because they are two different worlds. But still pretty good. And I think that just about covers it.
It's the difference between interspecies reviewer manga and anime.
Why do you know so much about interspecies reviewers?
Because I watched those 4 episodes and I was like, oh, that's why they dropped it.
Beautiful.
Because the version I watched literally had it censored and had a black screen with text that said we can't show this.
I guess I can mention, outside of the realm of media, I joined a running group, several running
Hey.
groups actually, a few weeks back, and I've been going to those, which has been pretty fun. I made some friends in those. That's been a ton of fun. I am this has taught me that I am way out of shape, and I need to exercise far more because, good Lord, am I getting left in the dust?
If you unless you are currently working out, and a lot of times even if you are, you're out of shape.
Yeah, ever since the start of quarantine, it's just been rough. I've gained a ton of weight. It's been terrible. I need to eat less and exercise more, but then food is here, and I want to eat it all.
Food
So,
is here, but food here.
but food here,
But food here, exercise out there.
out there. But yeah, so I think that probably just about covers it. Yeah, it's all good.
All
What about
right,
you,
then.
Sir Mitchell of the Green?
Alrighty.
How has been thy week?
It has been good. I have done things. Let's see. I have beaten The Witcher 1.
Hey, you beat me to it.
Hey! Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely, actually.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Despite it all. Where are you on Witcher
Despite
1?
everything, I haven't gone back to it since I went
Okay,
in
you're
on
still on
FF14.
3. Alright.
So I'm still on chapter 3. I'm gonna go back to it pretty soon here, but FF I'm getting close to the end of Realm Reborn, so
So yeah, chapter 4 was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Cthulhu thing.
Cthulhu, yeah.
There's a
Chapter 4
Cthulhu
was
thing?
fun. That was
Yes,
interesting.
there's Cthulhu monsters in
Yeah,
The
there's
Witcher.
like
That's great.
Yeah.
there's some fish people trying to summon Dagon.
Unless you are familiar with Eastern European mythology and folklore, The Witcher's gonna have a lot of surprises.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I beat that. Fair warning for when you get to chapter 5. When you get to chapter 5, you lose access to the inn and the innkeeper and your bank.
Oh no.
So you basically get one chat with Dandelion, and he offers your one chance to go into your bank and withdraw whatever you need for chapter 5. So use that wisely,
no.
because I did not, and I kind of had to scramble for things.
So what you're saying is make sure that you do all of the alchemy and stuff before chapter 5.
You can still do alchemy, but withdraw like your good alcohol and whatnot.
Right.
Because you don't really have access to your bank. Make sure you have some spare teeth to give to the dentist dude. Have you met him yet?
I have met the dentist, and I think I tried to give him some teeth. I can't remember.
Yeah. If you give him like all the teeth that you can collect, then you'll get like a good steel sword.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely giving him a lot of teeth.
Yeah. And if you do all the trophy quests, then you get a super good silver sword.
Silver sword, yeah. So then and then I can just dump all of the meteorite and stuff onto it.
The meteorite is for making a sword.
Okay, well, I'll dump something else onto it.
You can dump the temporary runes on it.
Yeah, runes and whetstones.
Yeah. They don't stack, by the way, I tested.
Dang it!
Because the whetstones and the temporary runes and the blade coatings all count as oils. They're all under the same category. You can only have one at a time.
That's dumb.
Okay, fine.
I mean, it makes sense lore-wise, but that's dumb.
Yeah, but the sword already does like 100% extra damage. Like, you don't need to break it much more than that. Both the steel and silver sword that you can get both do like 100% extra damage. Like, it's already broken enough. You don't need to break it more.
That's fair, I suppose. But I wish I could break it even more because this game can be a chore at times.
It is. But with the right oils, like when you get that oil that just makes silver more effective, just like one-shotting everything.
Yeah, there is
I'm like
that.
1 or 2-shotting things, especially in group style.
Oh yeah, group style is a lifesaver at times, especially when you get it when you upgrade upgrade knockback percentage.
Yeah, just upgrade the knockback so that nothing can touch you. So that's good.
Have you started Witcher 2 yet?
I did actually. I was gonna get into that. So that was fun. I enjoyed like the little ending epilogue in The Witcher one. That was fun and had like a nice little twist. Had some nice reveals. And then I started on The Witcher 2 because I'm like, oh man, I like The Witcher 1. I'm gonna just jump into The Witcher 2. So I did. And the combat is very different.
Yes, it is.
Yes. It's kind of more like from what little I played of Assassin's Creed Origins, that light, heavy attack, dodge, block.
Well, I mean, Assassin's Creed Origins is just Witcher 3 clone, so
yeah. So
and Witcher 3 is just refined Witcher 2 combat.
So yeah, it's just that combat, very different, a little more challenging for me, but fun. You can carry stuff over. I got to like carry over the swords and some of my potions.
Oh yeah!
Unfortunately, they lose their 100% extra damage. They're just like slightly better than the starter weapon, so they don't absolutely break the game.
Well, I suppose that's reasonable.
Which is fair, but just the fact that you get them at all is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to get something, and I assume
and
that
it's nice to get recognized for like decisions because they're like mentioned things that you did in the Witcher 1.
Yeah, good.
File, which is just nice recognition.
I appreciate that.
Very nice.
Oh, going back to The Witcher 1, there's at some point where a king will summon you to talk to him. Turns out he plays dice poker.
Oh,
you can get like 3,000 gold from a game with him.
Yes.
But you only get to play him once, and if you lose, you don't get to play him again.
Well,
so save before you talk to him. Yes.
Save scum.
So I'm just warning you now. Before you talk to the king, save scum.
I will do that before I talk to it's not full test. I can't. Dang! My book lore is failing me.
I think it is full test that you talk to.
Is it full test?
I think it's full test.
Okay, it's full test. I know full test isn't the bald guy.
Yeah, no. Are you thinking of like the Grandmaster dude?
I might be thinking of him.
Yeah. So I only did a little bit of The Witcher 2. It didn't hold my attention. I wanted to move on to something else. I got a little bit into The Witcher 2 and decided, actually on second thought, I haven't enough of Witcher for now.
That's very fair.
I just placed it through The Witcher 1. I need a break. And for some reason, I got on this weird movie binge where I went back and watched Flushed Away.
Oh my god!
Because YouTube was recommending clips. Listen, YouTube was like, for some reason, showing me Flushed Away clips, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that movie. I wonder if it still holds up.
Does it? Does it?
Nah. Yeah, it was meh. 6 out of 10, whatever. Then I'm like,
it's like,
what a deep cut.
It was such a strange movie.
It was strange, but that's kind of the charm. And then I'm like, oh man, you know what that movie reminded me of? Makes me want to watch.
Oh boy,
Chicken Run.
Oh my god, yeah.
Chicken Run. And I'm like, oh man, you know what this movie makes me want to watch? Wallace and Gromit.
Oh my god, the Wallace and Gromit movie or the Wallace and Gromit series?
I couldn't find the Wallace and Gromit series, but I did find like Wallace and Gromit and the Were-Rabbit, so I watched that instead.
Yeah, it's. Oh,
so I just watched those like one after the other on a weekend.
Man, I remember 2 specific shots in that movie because okay, do you remember season 8 Game of Thrones?
Yes.
This does connect. There was one shot in the final episode where Daenerys is walking and the dragon's behind her, and you just see the dragon's wings come out from behind her and flap, and the dragon flies out from behind her. And then people were like, "This shot is amazing and should be taught in every film school ever." And then people were like, "I mean, it's a cool shot, but it's like, it's not like one of the greatest shots ever." And then people started memeing by showing other shots that do similar things.
Yeah.
And there's a shot in Wallace and Gromit where the girlfriend is talking and she has an angel statue behind her, so there's angel wings behind her.
Oh yeah.
And then she walks away, and then the villain like steps in front of a demon statue, and he's got demon horns.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. That scene's indeed in the Were Rabbit movie. I remember.
The freaking Were Rabbit. It's Wallace and Gromit's great.
It's so stupid, but I love it. It's like Flushed Away, man. Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit and the Were Rabbit, fantastic. 10 out of 10. Love them.
Well, maybe they
I
should have
don't
just
care.
stuck with the stop motion animation instead of going to 3D.
Yeah. I mean, they try to replicate the style, but it's not. It doesn't hit the same.
It's not the same when you have more frame rates or smoother frame rate.
It's just not as good when you have more frames. So I went on a weird movie binge, and then, of course, I got the new PC.
Yes.
Yes, beautiful.
How nice is it?
It's pretty nice. I don't understand why everything needs to glow.
Well, it's because it looks cool.
I sure, but
how else are you going to flex?
I don't know. Okay, fine. Like the PC can glow. Why does the keyboard need to glow?
Well, how else are you going to flex?
Okay. Well, I guess I'm flexing real hard right now because everything's a strobe light.
Flexing on yourself.
Apparently, I should flex on myself with the money I spent on this. My bank account's a little low. So now, I got back into the Old Republic before I started on Final Fantasy XIV. So I've been going through like the big cinematic theatrical expansion they did, where you fight the Eternal Empire, and you try and defeat the Eternal Emperor once and for all, which you do so in the first 5 minutes of the first cutscene.
Oh, what?
Excellent.
Yeah. Plot twist.
He wasn't the actual Eternal Emperor.
It's like, plot twist. The real villain of this is actually one of his sons. You know, the cinematic with the two brothers?
Oh, yeah.
One gets killed. So you're fighting the brother that survived. He took the throne after you killed the Emperor. But then, plot twist. The Emperor is trying to possess your mind.
Sheesh.
So yeah, he kind of keeps showing up and he's like, hey, it seems like you're in a real pickle. How about you let me take over your body?
How about you let me inside your body?
And he could be like, yeah, sure, give me power, which is the dark side option naturally. Or you can be like, yeah, no, that seems like a really bad idea.
Seems like an unequal deal.
So he's like, no, it'll just be for a few seconds, and then I'll go away again. I promise. So
is there a dark side option where you refuse?
Unfortunately, no. Which is really. I wish it was like light side. No, I won't give in. Or dark side's like, screw you, I can do this myself. Or dark side, give me the power.
Like that. That's something that Knights of the Old Republic 2 has a lot of, where you can do good things for bad reasons, and it's great.
Yeah, I wish the Old Republic did that. So I've been working my way through that. I finally got up to where I defeated Archon, the son who took the throne, and now we're getting into the second part of it, where now his sister took the throne.
Oh my gosh.
The throne is exchanging hands a lot. Really annoying.
Oh my gosh.
So now, yeah. But it's still fun. I'm having fun with it, going through.
Why didn't your character just take the throne? Is it because I don't want it?
I don't want it.
No, just some things happen. We were off. I was off go fighting the Archon when we both got betrayed by a other character who surprise turned out to be a villain. Not surprise. I saw it a mile away.
What a twist!
What a twist!
What a twist! Character from Pokemon X and Y was actually the villain.
Yeah.
What?
This clearly evil character turned out to be the villain.
This clearly evil character whose introductory scene is him standing with his back turned to you, looking at a painting and saying, what a beautiful world this could be. It's like, oh, he's the villain.
Yeah.
If anyone
this character that goes, wow, I'm so cool and perfect and smart, And I wish other people were half as smart as me.
Any character who's first
It's
seen.
basically the surprise twist villain is a droid with adaptive AI that's like, man, I am so much more advanced than anything else in this galaxy.
Gee, I wonder if he's going to be a villain.
She.
Oh, she. I wonder if she is going to be a villain.
Yes. Especially since the Eternal Fleet that the Eternal Empire commands is commanded by droids that look almost exactly like her.
Huh.
Gee, I wonder what this.
Wow,
But yeah,
it looks like these assets were reused multiple times so as to be easily usable as enemy fodder.
yes. So yeah, not exactly the most unpredictable story, but fun. And then of course I got started on Final Fantasy 14.
Yes. Yes, you
Ah,
have.
I have let's see, I started out as the Marauder
Mm-hmm. Because
because
you want Big X.
I want the big X and I am loving the big X.
of course.
Which means that I am a tank, which fortunately makes it easy to get into dungeons.
Yes, it
It
does.
does not take more than 10 minutes.
Boy, I really like I am glad that I'm going and leveling up Gladiator, because sitting around in those Dragoon queues is a frickin' pain.
How long does it take for a Dragoon?
The
Like
estimated wait
DPS?
time almost always starts at 13 minutes.
Oof.
It usually goes longer.
Yeah. It usually says half that for me.
Yeah, it's
So,
it's
and I
ridiculous.
am having fun tanking. I don't know if that's a odd thing to do, but I'm having fun tanking. I enjoy it immensely. Even though it sometimes feels like I'm babysitting a group of very suicidal children.
Yeah, well, I see from the DPS perspective, I think I'm gonna prefer tanking, because I don't ever have the situation where I turn around and, oh no, the tank died, oh no, the healer died, oh no, the other DPS died, I gotta run away, oh no, I died. And then the tank
Eh,
apologizes for accidentally pulling the entire next room.
whoops. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. It's like, better. It's like I'm trying to go slow so I don't pull too many enemies, and then the DPS gets impatient and runs ahead and
Well,
aggroes a whole group of enemies, and I'm
well,
like,
that's his fault.
no, exactly. I'm like, Lancer, see what happened? You pulled too many enemies and you nearly died. I hope you learned a valuable lesson from all. Where'd you go?
Yep. Yep. Oh boy. Thankfully I'm always the melee DPS in the party, so I never have to worry about that happening because I stay behind my tank.
Like, I wish people would stay behind me. It would make my job easier. But yeah, I've more or less enjoyed tanking. It's a lot of fun. Uh it's a lot to take in. I'm like, okay, how's my health? How's everyone else's health? Are there extra enemies popping up? How's the boss doing? Is the boss gonna do a thing that I need to avoid?
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Am I
Is there
dying? Yes.
is there crossplay in that between PC and console?
Yes, there is.
Ah,
As far as I'm aware, the only downside to playing on PlayStation is that as far as I'm aware, your purchases are locked to PlayStation. I think you can still play on the
ah,
PC, but if you want to buy the new expansion, you got to buy it through PlayStation.
okay.
Yeah. So let's see. Final Fantasy 14. I just started doing like the 3 introductory dungeons,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I've just joined like the weird secret group people.
Oh yeah, the Signs of the Seventh Dawn.
Yeah, Scions of the
Okay,
Seventh Dawn.
let me tell you a time saving thing. It's gonna help you out a lot.
Okay.
The fastest way to get to the hideout is not to warp to the waypoint right that's closest to them. The fastest way is to go to Limsa Lominsa, the main place, then go to the Aethernet to the Arcanist Guild and take the ferry.
Oh, interesting.
And the ferry guy is the first guy you run into. Like you'll load into the Arcanist Guild thing, and the dock is right there. And before you
Yeah.
actually get to the dock, there's a guy you can talk to who will take you to the ferry, and it costs like 82 gil.
Yeah, the Marauder starts in Limsa, so I actually know the town well.
Yeah. I don't know Limsa nearly as well as I know Gridania because I
Yeah.
am a Lancer.
Yeah, I don't know Gridania, though. That's my problem.
I'm starting to get to know Ul'dah because of gladiator quests.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know Limsa real well. Let's see.
But I did join the Limsa free company. Was it free company? No, it was some Grand Company. I did join their Grand Company because I've heard their gear looks the best.
All right, I haven't gotten there yet. Like, I just joined and then I had to log out for the night. So, I don't know if there's anything more on Final Fantasy XIV. Is there anything else I've done? Other than reading a little more of the Last Apprentice, I guess that's about it. So last time I said that they summoned the devil, and I figured that we'd be fighting the devil for the other like 5 books. They defeated the devil.
They beat the devil.
Oh,
they beat the devil.
Easy.
Quotation marks. They managed to trap him in a pit and cut off his head, but he's not dead yet.
I see.
So now it's a race against time to figure out how to kill him for goodsies before the bad witches can figure out how to bring him back, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Started one of the new books, which is focusing on one of the secondary characters that gets introduced earlier on, which is a witch assassin.
Oh, interesting. The way you're describing it now, it it reminds me kind of a younger reader's, like, structurally like a younger reader's version of the Ranger's Apprentice series.
I mean, the Ranger's Apprentice series is constantly being recommended on Kindle because of The Last Apprentice.
So maybe that's.
I feel like they probably
why.
are hitting similar beats.
Probably. I like Ranger's Apprentice as just I consider it like junk food reading.
Yeah, I consider Last Apprentice junk food reading.
Unfortunately, right now I don't have time for junk food reading because of classes taking up most of my reading time.
Yeah. So right now, the book I just started is following the witch assassin Grimalkin, who is carrying around the devil's head, trying to keep it from falling into enemy hands.
Oh.
As they are constantly trying to hunt her down and have her killed.
What a lovely concept.
Oh.
And she so far seems to be a pretty interesting character. I am enjoying her story.
Now, does she have any points where, or does the devil's head talk to her?
Yes.
Awesome.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the devil head can still talk. Let's see. I think the book says that she stuffs a apple wrapped in thorns in its mouth to keep it from talking.
Oh, that's awesome.
Metal.
That's awesome.
And it's sewed its eyelids shut so it can't tell where it is.
That's metal. That's freaking metal. At first I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be like a more insidious Mimir from God of War.
Ah, yes.
But that's just as cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the book has its moments. As much as I've complained about parts of the book, I have immensely enjoyed the series.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of things where you complain about, all you do is complain about it, but you love it.
Yeah.
I assume at some point Final Fantasy XIV will become that.
Yeah. It's like, why does it take me 20 hours to gain a level?
Oh man. That's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah. I feel like some of the end-game grinding.
Oh man. Well,
it's like, why does it cost 20 million gil to buy a armor die?
Oh jeez. Oh man, I want to get new mounts. I want to get new mounts because
I just want to get a mount.
Oh, you will soon.
Okay, thank God. I am so tired of renting chocobos.
Of freaking renting chocobos or running around and hitting sprint and having to wait a minute for it to cool down.
Oh, I have encountered numerous fates of those fate things you were talking about.
Yeah, fates are fun.
I love kind of like looking around, seeing one off in the distance, and seeing like a DPS mage or character and I immediately hit sprint and run over to help.
Yeah.
Because I am the tank.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm like, never fear, DPS unit, for I am here.
I am here. Fellcleave. 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 Fellcleave.
I have not unlocked Fellcleave yet, unfortunately, or I would.
Well, you'll get there with Berserker or Warrior. It's Warrior.
I think it's Warrior, yeah.
Yeah, it's Warrior. I think Berserker because of D&D.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, it basically is a Berserker.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
All right.
Now, what about you, Sir Zach? What have you been up to?
Well, first things first, I went on a family vacation.
Yes, I saw those images on Facebook.
Yes. We went to Alaska.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What made you guys decide to go to Alaska?
We haven't done any big vacations like that, and for some reason, even though my dad is a doctor, we still got a stimulus check. So we were like, you know what, screw it, and we used some of the money, and we went on vacation.
Neat.
And it was freaking cool.
Yeah, I imagine. From everything I've seen, Alaska is absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah. 360 degrees. Even in Anchorage, it's like 360 degrees mountains everywhere.
Dang.
Yeah.
Anchorage itself is it's a nice little city, but it's just a city. But everything around it is just gorgeous. First day we went on like a little photo tour kind of thing. So we went outside of Anchorage for a bit. The tour guide at one point like said, this gas station we're stopping at is the last gas station for like 100 like 10 miles or so, or like I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was like a big distance, like the last gas station for a long while.
Dang.
Yeah.
And there are people who miss it or don't or just go past it and they have to be towed.
Yeah, there's some stretches like that in like the Midwest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, those stretches are insane.
For Alaska, I do have one quick question.
Oh yeah.
Because my family went there like 5 years ago for a vacation.
Uh-huh.
So, did you all accidentally stay up to like 1 in the morning the first day because the sun doesn't quite set?
I almost did. Me and my brother, we almost did. And the funny thing was he slept on the couch, and the couch was in a room that didn't have thick curtains on all of the windows. So he woke up at 4 in the morning with the sun shining directly on his face.
Yeah.
19 hours of sunlight.
Ain't it fun?
This time of year. It's a trip. It was really weird adjusting to, and really weird adjusting back away from it.
Yeah. What was like the average temperature? What'd you say?
Oh, it was like the highest it got was in the 80s, like low 80s. Most of the time, it was just like mid 70s at most.
That's nice.
It was so nice. Let me just pull up my phone and go through pictures, because that'll help me to remember exactly the order of things. We on the photo tour, we saw a bunch of cool stuff. There's a point that has like I think the highest tide differential in the world, where high tide it's just completely covered. Low tide you could almost walk across to the other side of this little place. And the beaches are freaking ugly as crap because it's not sand, it's glacial silt.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's all like dark gray, and the tour guide even said like don't go walking out there, because the fire department it'll suck you in, and the fire department only goes out there at certain times, so you'll be stuck there for a while.
Oh dear.
Dang.
It was like I think my mom even like got some glacial silt, but that's because it's like good exfoliating and good for your face and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'll get to that in a bit, because on the tour we went to a wildlife conservation center, and there were friggin' big old brown bears and black bears. There there were of course like wolves and deer and caribou, and they had like, was it brown-tailed deer? Which I was like, okay, I thought there was only white-tailed deer and then like mule deer, but then no,
Yeah.
there's a lot of deer.
there's other tailed deers, and then caribou and reindeer, which I don't even know the difference between.
Mhm.
And there was moose, and I kept an eye on the moose because I know moose are very dangerous.
Yeah.
And the tour guide told us the rule with bears: if it's black, fight back; if it's brown, lie down; if it's white, good night. To which I just changed: if it's white, die.
Yep. That's a good description.
Yep.
I'm trying to think on it. I'm pretty sure caribou and reindeer are the same thing, aren't they?
I think they might be slightly different.
Maybe, I don't know.
But at the conservation center they had reindeer sausage.
Ooh.
And it was good. They also had a bison sausage, which was decent, but I like the reindeer sausage more. And they had reindeer hot dogs too, which were pretty good. They have a lot of reindeer meat up there.
I mean, I kind of figure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like in restaurants, like a restaurant I'll talk about later had reindeer sausage just on the menu.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember everything serving like seafood everywhere.
Yes, seafood is everywhere
Seafood's
because it's Anchorage and it's right there.
Were there any gift shops selling like dried moose droppings?
I didn't see
I remember that.
But I did see ulu knives a lot, which are these knives that the natives used, which are it's like the handle, but the knife comes out of the side of the handle and it looks kind of like a half moon almost. It's a really interesting knife. And my mom found a guy who handmade one, and she got that as one of her souvenirs, and she's been using it, and it's a really good knife. They had porcupine there. The porcupine stank. Like it stinks. It stank like a ferret cage kind of.
I don't really know what that smells like, but I'm sure it's terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. But it crawled up the cage and then got on the roof of its little house and just sat there and basically posed for everyone. and they don't shoot the quills, so I was a little confused that they had just these big open cages, not like chicken wire or anything. But they don't shoot the quills. It's just if you touch it, it's gonna pop out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't believe cartoons.
What'd you say?
Don't believe cartoons.
No, don't believe cartoons. We got to a part where there were actual like small icebergs right off these glaciers. The glaciers were named after like poets. There was like Shakespeare and I think it was Byron Glacier, and then I set foot on an iceberg. It was a very small one, but I set foot on an iceberg. It's very cool.
Oh yeah,
nice.
It's very cool. Just everywhere you look, freaking gorgeous view, absolutely gorgeous. Then the next day we hiked on a glacier, which was really cool. You get up to a certain point, and then the guide brought out these things that you put on your shoes that have little not spikes, but like little triangles of metal on the sole that put those on your soles. Yeah. And you have better traction on that ice than you do on regular ground with your shoes.
Wow.
I could almost I could walk at easily like a 45-degree angle.
Dang.
It was nuts. That's where my mom got the glacial silt from. She just pulled out a bag and bagged some up. The glacier, you could drink the water directly melting from the glacier. They had little waterfalls and everything, or there was little waterfalls. It's not that they had it; it's just it was there because it's a glacier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's all these really weird formations. Like it leaves behind these like almost pillars of ice and stuff. And if you look at the ice in a certain light in the shade, it's blue. It's really blue. It was just absolutely gorgeous.
I bet.
And then the next day, we went deep sea fishing for halibut. Halibut was the main thing we were looking for, but we also got a lot of bass. And that was the worst day for me because I dropped it down. I dropped the line down, and I got a bite. I reel it all the way up, like literally like 400 something feet.
Wow.
All the way up, and I pull it out, and it's a fish that's out of season, so we had to toss it back, and then I didn't get jack the rest of the day, and we were out there for like 5 hours. And it was even worse because I was on the other side of the boat from my dad and my sister, who caught most of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even get to see them pull up fish. I mean, it was still a cool experience, but it was like, and the view obviously was just gorgeous all around. But yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst day. But hey, if the worst day has a gorgeous view, you can't complain that much.
Yeah.
And then the next day we hiked up a mountain, and our guide for that was this like 65-year-old guy, real thin, has long hair and a ponytail, looked like a hippie almost. Guy out hiked every single one of us. He does it every day. In his 60s. He eats a mostly raw diet, so he eats mostly fruits and vegetables and doesn't cook them hardly at all.
Wow.
And I think the guy was actually originally from Texas. There were a lot of people that we met who were originally from Texas but moved up to Alaska.
I mean, you're escaping the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Escaping the heat. I think that a lot of
I never want to deal with heat ever again.
Yeah. I think the majority of the people we met and talked to were not originally from Alaska. Just a lot of people moving up there.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, if you're born in Alaska, you're like, I want to get away from the cold. Never deal with the cold again. And if you're from Texas, you're like, I want to get away from the heat.
Yeah.
Never want to deal with the heat.
Get out of here, please.
There might be a lot of exchanges going on.
On the drive back, I saw a sign for Stark Industries, and there was a really fancy house behind that sign. So,
interesting.
Very, very suspicious right there. The next day, we went on a foraging hiking trip where we went out into these hiking trails and foraged around for different plants. And our tour guide, she even found this big old oyster mushroom that had grown off the side of a tree, and she got that, and we only ate like this little small bit of it because it was huge, like easily bigger than my head.
Dang.
Cooked that up and ate it. I didn't really like the mushroom, but I just don't like mushrooms in general. But just about everything else was great. And the only thing that she brought that we didn't forage was like couscous and like stuff for crepes. But that was it. It was really interesting. And then the next day was my absolute favorite day. We drove out to this town like a couple hours inland of Anchorage, a couple hours north towards Mount McKinley or Denali. I think Denali's the native name and McKinley is the explorer's name. And Mount McKinley is actually like the tallest land mountain, because Everest is higher, but it starts a lot higher, and the mountain over in Hawaii, most of its height is underwater, so the highest land mountain is Denali.
Nice.
And we went to this small, like, kind of touristy town. It was a touristy small town, but it was a really cool little small town there. And then we went there because they had these dog sled tours, which is the coolest thing, because we drive out to this guy's dog sled. I don't know what you call it. Do you call it a farm? I don't know.
Sure.
Dog sled farm. And the guy is a 5-time Iditarod champion, and the Iditarod is the big dog sledding race.
Yeah, wow, dang.
Goes from Anchorage to Juneau. Or is it Juneau? I think it's Juneau. No, it's Nome. Nome, I think. I don't know. One of those. It's the one that was based off of the whole Balto thing.
Yeah.
But he's a 5-time champion, and he's like in his 30s, and he's tied for wins with another guy, and that guy took like decades to get 5 wins. So this guy's probably gonna pass him up. The next Iditarod is the 50th anniversary. He's deciding whether or not he wants to do it, or if he wants to spend more time with his daughter or whatever. And if he does compete, it'll be him, his dad, and his grandfather all competing in the Iditarod.
Dang.
Wow.
So yeah, the guy's like probably the best there is right now. And you go there, and there's some retired dogs already just kind of out, just wandering around, that you can go up and pet, and they absolutely just love on you and everything. They love people. And then you go out and you see this like kind of field where they have the dogs chained up with houses, and the chains are like on these lines, so they can move a bit whenever they want, but they stay in their area. And they what we did first was they took us to the puppies, and we got to hold and play with the puppies. And they do that because they want the puppies to be like socialized with humans. They want the puppies to know that, oh yeah, all humans are good, so that they don't get spooked by any humans. Then you go over and you play around with the 1-year-olds, and the 1-year-olds just are running in this big old open field area, and you can just run with them. And if you start running, they'll run with you, and it's a ton of fun. And they're all Alaskan Huskies. A lot of them don't even look like what you think a husky would look like. They're a lot smaller and more lean, and that's because they breed them not really for looks or for size. They breed them just to want to run. They need to love running more than anything, and and they need to be able to run for a long period of time. Like the way they do it in the Iditarod is they run for 4 hours, and then they stop, and then the musher gives them, each of the dogs, like full body massages, gives them food and water, and then has like an hour or 45 minutes to sleep or eat themselves, and then they keep going, and it's just that schedule 24/7 for like 9 days.
Wow. Oh my god.
It's nuts. And then we got to the part where we got to freaking mush dogs on a dog sled. It wasn't a sled, but it was a cart with wheels, because it is summer, and even though there's glaciers and snow, there wasn't down there. So that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. So much fun. And one of the dogs, it was 4 dogs on my team, and those 4 dogs, a lot of them were some of the champions that he ran with. And hold on, let me get my thoughts real quick. One of the dogs in the back row was running kind of sideways, like tilted, almost like it was trying to run underneath the dog beside it. And I thought, that's kind of weird. And then I look behind at my brother's team behind me, and one of his dogs is running almost completely sideways.
Huh.
And the people there said, we thought he was going to grow out of it, but he never did. But he could run like that for like an entire day, so it works. So, but man, that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. That is easily a must do if you ever go to Alaska. And the rest of the town was pretty cool. They had a little that little knife shop where my mom got the knife and things like that. And then the next day was the last day. We had a flight in the evening, which meant we would fly all night to what was it, St. Louis, I think, and then all the way to Dallas, which was a nightmare. But the day itself, we just kind of drove around and did some stuff, and we ate dinner at this pizza place that we'd been to earlier, and we liked it so much that we went again. It's called the Moose's Tooth.
The Moose's Tooth. That's clever. I like
Tooth.
Can't go wrong with that.
It is rated as like the third best pizza place in the country.
Wow. And
it was really freaking good. You could get like 2 different flavors on your pizza. So the first day I got like they're meat lovers, and then on the other side I got mac and cheese pizza. And I was like, this sounds good, but just in case I'll get the meat lovers. That mac and cheese pizza was one of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And it was like a mac and cheese pizza, but it also had reindeer sausage in it, so that was delicious. And then the next day we went there. I got half the mac and cheese, and then the other one I got, because of the name. My brother's name is Jake, and it was called Jake's Mistake. And he was too much of a coward to get it, so I got it. And it was also delicious. So yeah,
Beautiful.
if you're in Anchorage, Moose's Tooth, it's very good. The wait is freaking long. We were there at like 3 or 4, and the wait was like 40 minutes. Because it is, and that was the exact same wait that we had when we went there at 7 earlier in the week. So they're just constantly busy.
Dang, I imagine.
Yeah.
So that was the vacation. Oh yeah, we saw that they have a Balto statue in Anchorage, so I got a picture of that because I really liked that movie when I was a kid. And also the story is that the Balto kind of took all the credit for another dog who was much older and it was actually retired, but his owner brought him out of retirement, and then he was only supposed to run like 4 like a short amount of time. He went a freaking long amount of time, and then he passed it off to Balto, and Balto's the one who came in at the end, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this dog's so cool." But I don't really care about that. I still like Balto, so you know. But on the plane, because I knew I probably wouldn't be able to sleep on the plane, and I got a little bit of sleep, but not much, I decided to watch a movie. And I decided to watch, every time I look at that name, even on my list, I want to say Raya, but it's Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, nice. What'd you think?
I think it's all right. I thought it was all right. It was fun. It was a fun kind of action adventure Disney movie. But I have a few nitpicks with it that were just really annoying. And my main problem was it had really weird uses of modern slang just thrown in there.
Oh yeah.
I
mean, I feel like that's pretty par for the course with most Disney movies, though. Like, there are a lot of anachronisms.
I mean, I disagree, because like Moana, as far as I'm aware, didn't have anything that stuck out like a sore thumb like that, and like Wreck-It Ralph doesn't have anything like that. I guess maybe like the genie in Aladdin does make references and stuff, but it's Robin Williams stand up, so it's like
Robin Williams, and he can make it work.
It's Robin Williams and he makes it work.
Yeah.
But this was like just it's the equivalent of that part in Black Panther where Shuri makes a "what are those" reference.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
It just sticks out, and it just hits you like, yeah. And then there was another thing I didn't like, where the movie has this really cool visual thing where the evil force, because there's no villains in Disney movies anymore, it's evil forces.
Yes.
The evil force turns people to stone, and when they're turned to stone, they all move into this very specific pose, and it's a really cool visual thing. And then they break that rule at the very end because they want a cool visual.
Oh no!
And it sucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I was gonna watch some other movies, but I couldn't get them to download. So, I pulled out my Vita, so I brought that with me, and I went to play Persona 3 Portable on there, and it said, no, you gotta update the Vita, and I was like, I can't do that on the plane. So then I instead I started another playthrough of Persona 4 Golden, and I got like 10, 15, 20 minutes into the 3-hour long intro, and I was real tired, so I just put it down and I kind of slept. I dozed. And that's how I spent the rest of the flight. The flight there, I played a bit of Assassin's Creed 3 on my Switch.
Hey.
And that continues to be a fun game that isn't very good, but I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy going into the Boston Tea Party and trying to see if the optional objective is knock British soldiers into the water. Can I pick up their body and throw it in? No, that doesn't count. Dang it.
I hated that objective.
Oh, it's like you have to beat them in combat in a certain way. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks. After I got back, I had a lot of work on my masters because I did the bare minimum on vacation, and I had to catch up on everything there.
Yeah.
When I got back, which gave me like 2 days to do almost a week's worth of work, but I did it.
Nice, good stuff.
Yes, and that continues to go. I did the first final project for one of the classes last week, which would be a couple days ago now. I wrote a 7 to 7, but then somewhere she said 6, but I was just over the limit, and I used a lot of block quotes, so it should be fine. Paper on Charles Dickens, analyzing his writing style and everything, or certain elements of his writing, and it took me like good 4 or 5 hours to do the whole thing, plus a couple hours of research, but I enjoyed myself because I just really like Charles Dickens. And any excuse for me to talk about Charles Dickens is a good one, especially if that includes me talking about A Christmas Carol, because A Christmas Carol is amazing.
Yeah.
So other than that, that's basically the vacation and the masters done and out of the way. As for what I've been playing, it's Final Fantasy XIV.
Of course, naturally.
And not much else. I'm level 48 Dragoon, and I'm getting real close to the end of A Realm Reborn's story. And then I get to a point, and the next story quest is locked because I need to be level 49. And I'm like, well, crap. These levels take a while now, so... So I did a leveling roulette. I did a leveling duty roulette to get some experience there, and that didn't get me to the next level. I tried filling out the hunting log, but that's a pain to find the specific enemies. So then I said, you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing the leveling roulette every day. I haven't, but whatever.
I've just been doing the monster log as I go.
Yeah, I wanted to do that as I went, but then I just kind of wasn't in the area where the monsters spawn a lot, so so I started leveling up Gladiator so I can get Paladin. And that's also a bit of a pain because it's just going out and grinding and filling out the hunting log and stuff. And it's just I'm at the point where the game's getting into a bit of a grind. But I expected that.
Better MMO grind.
I expected that, so I just kind of zone out and listen to podcasts and stuff, and it works for that. Yeah. The other game that I've technically been spending a ton of time with is Cookie Clicker.
Hey, what made you decide to get back into that?
I don't think I'd ever actually played Cookie Clicker, but I've definitely played games like Cookie Clicker, and I don't know what got me into that. It's been in the back of my mind just sitting there, and I decided, screw it. And I did it. And let me check. I am at, well, if the thing will load. I am at 752 million cookies, or no, 761 million cookies per second. I have trillions of cookies in the bank, and I have almost hundreds of a lot of the stuff. I've gotten to portals, and I can get a time machine at some point. This game is freaking nuts, and one of my grandmas is named Family Guy Funny Moments number 420.
Interesting.
And she is a witch.
Beautiful.
She went from being a temple priestess to a witch.
That's very impressive.
That game is surprisingly good.
Yeah, I hear stories of people getting absolutely addicted to it.
I can totally
and just
see it.
Losing hours and hours and hours of their life.
Yeah, I can definitely see. It gives me this. This is not a freaking joke. It gives me the same good feelings that leveling up skills in Birth by Sleep does.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the first person to make that comparison, but it is an apt comparison. It's the same kind of joy of seeing number go up.
Yeah.
But speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I tried to gun through the story in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross because today is the last day of the game. And I frickin' tried. And I got to a point where I'm just blowing jewels out, just giving myself extra lives, or reviving myself. And I look at the boss's health, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna have enough jewels to just brute force my way through this, and I'm not at the end of the missions. So I gave up. Which is just a flaccid end to a game that I enjoyed, but
I have finally beaten a Kingdom Hearts game before you.
Yes, you have. I tried. I had really good medals, but some of those really good medals did 1 damage, and I had gotten them in the same pools as medals that did 1 billion damage.
Yeah, so, I don't understand the medal system in that game.
I didn't. I stopped.
I can never understand what's a good and what's a bad medal.
I stopped understanding after a while, and then there were the frickin' bosses that reversed certain metal types at you. And it was one thing when it was like, okay, it reverses speed metals. Well, it was strong against speed anyway, so really I shouldn't be using speed on it. But then it gets to, it reverses all upright metals, and it's like, well, my best metals in this set are upright metals, so what the heck? And I think it was meant for like, okay, you have the Proud Mode Keyblade, which is all magic upright, or all magic reversed. And it's like, no, I didn't. I never did Proud Mode. Did like one, I did proud mode like once, and I never really cared to do even anymore. But it's a sad end to a game that I have good memories of, and I had a lot of fun with, and I have spent hundreds of dollars on.
I did not spend near that much. I spent like 15.
I spent hundreds.
Yep.
Because Kingdom Hearts.
But now you understand how I feel about Final Fantasy Mobius.
Oh, geez.
How you will never get closure for that game.
Well, see, I will get closure when they update the game and give me just cutscenes for Union Cross.
Well, I guess what I have to do? I had to dig through YouTube and find people uploading all the cutscenes.
Yep.
Because we didn't even get that.
Yep. That is unfortunate. And
Square Enix looked at Mobius and then looked at Final Fantasy XIV and said, one of these can go.
Listen, they made the right choice.
I know they did. I know Final Fantasy XIV is making so much more money than Mobius would ever have.
It's also a better game.
Okay, I might fight you on that one.
Listen.
It might be a better game.
Neither of us is out of A Realm Reborn yet, and Realm Reborn is considered to be like the worst part of the game, and it's still freaking stellar.
Like, listen, Final Fantasy XIV may be a better game, but it is a mass MMO on a PC and PlayStation. This is Mobius was a gotcha game on phones, okay?
That is fair.
And for a gotcha game, it was really good.
Listen, I will definitely, like, I feel you on this, because freaking Kingdom Hearts Dark Road has a freaking stellar story compared to a lot of the crap in the main series. But it's on this stupid, it's a side part of this stupid phone game that is being shut down, but at least I'll still be able to play Dark Road offline.
Yep.
Which makes me feel good, because I did some polls last night just for old time's sake, and I got some of the cool cards.
I think I still have like the Mobius Final Fantasy compilation somewhere. Where is it? Because I remember it being fairly long. Where is it? Where is it? Where did I save it? Final Fantasy.
But that is all.
10 hours.
10 hours. Oh my god.
10 hours of cutscenes. No, actually,
oh my
15, because it's divided into season 1 and season 2.
Okay, hold on a second.
15 hours of cutscenes for a gotcha mobile game.
This is terrible. This is terrible audio stuff. But let me look up the cutscenes for Union Cross. How long is that?
All right, let's go.
No, stop it. No, stop. Whoop.
So how do y'all think of the Mort foot licking scene? I'm not adding context to that phrase, by the way.
I thought it was pretty hot.
Stuck with.
Oh my gosh. 12 hours.
God dang.
12 hours.
But
and that's not including back cover, which is the story behind the story for at least the first part of the story, which was in Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
That is a name.
Which was packaged with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD and Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage.
Yeah, those are words.
Wow.
Yes. Kingdom Hearts naming is a thing.
Yes.
It's still not as bad as Toho names.
Give me an example of a Toho name.
Oh boy, let's look it up. Toho names. Let's see. Not Toho characters. Toho games. Do that. Toho Project Games. So Toho is this bullet hell series that is It instead of it being like a cool ship or anything, it's anime girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toho Mechanical Scrollery.
Scrollery.
Amazing.
Wily Beast and Weakest Creature. Yuto Ichika's One Time Wonder. Antimony of Common Flowers. Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom. Urban Legend in Limbo. Impossible Spell Card.
Title?
These are all titles. Okay, Hopeless Masquerade isn't bad. That sounds alright.
That one's okay.
That one sounds alright. That one sounds like an actual name. No, that's just the Japanese name in English, just written out phonetically in English. Undefined Fantastic Object.
What a great name.
Which is UFO, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Subterranean Animism. Scarlet Weather Rhapsody. Phantasmagoria: A Flower View.
Interesting.
Let's see, is there any other good ones?
How many Toho games are there?
Oh, there's a ton. The Phantasmagoria of Dimensional Dream. The Story of Eastern Wonderland. And the first game, Toho... Or is this the first game? I actually don't know. I think it's the first game. It's Toho 1, Highly Responsive to Prayers. So I still say that Toho has worse names than Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, I can agree with this.
I don't know what you're talking about. Every single one of those was a gem.
It's a gem. It's very, very understandable. So I have a little bit more...
Doesn't matter if they're understandable or not, they hit.
I have a little bit more video game news, but I do have to preface it by saying I bought an Apple Watch.
Oh, nice.
I've been meaning to get like a fitness tracker for a while, and I thought, well, you know, I do have an iPhone. I might as well get the Apple Watch. And I could get it for cheaper at Costco, so I did that. And it's nice. It's very nice, very cool. I especially like that I no longer have to look down at my phone to pause a podcast while I'm in the car. I can just flip the watch and tap pause.
That is nice.
It's very nice. I just tap it. I just like turn it to where it turns on, and I can just tap pause, or I can tap skip forward 30 seconds or skip back 15 seconds, and that's a big, like, a lifesaver for me, possibly, literally.
Sure.
Yeah. But I got it, and the day I got it, I was doing some work outside, and since I still had my phone in my pocket, it was still connected to the internet. I get a little buzz on my wrist, and I look down. There's a Twitter notification from the editor-in-chief of Tech Radar, Matt Swider, who says Best Buy has PS5s in stock. So I go, oh, and I run inside, and I run upstairs, and I just go over to the window open to his Twitter that I have, and I click on the link, and I start just spamming add to cart over and over and over. And it comes up with this bug with this error that's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, we're requiring people to take extra steps to add this item to their cart, and it never tells you what the extra step is. So I just keep refreshing the page and hitting add to cart, refresh, add to cart, refresh, add to cart, refresh, add to cart, and I'm just terrified that I'm gonna refresh and it's gonna say out of stock. And then I go over, and it's in the cart. So then I rush to check out, and I type in all the I sign in, I type in all the information, and I go, and it says my card's rejected.
Oh no.
Oh.
So then I'm like, what's going on? Oh no. And so I call my bank, and I say, hey, and I say in a very calm voice, hey, I'm trying to purchase something and it's saying that it's rejected. So
hey, let me use my damn money.
Are there any holds on my card? And the bank lady was like, all right, let me check. And then I hear her typing and looking around. And the entire time I'm just like, just inside. And my brother's right there because I had to use his phone to call because my phone didn't have service for some reason. So he's there just also like, and then she's like, well, it's not saying why there's a hold. Let me try this one other thing. And then she's like, okay, can you try it again right now? And I said, yes, I can. And I click, and it goes through.
Oh, yeah.
So on this week, I will go over to Best Buy and pick up a PS5.
Woo!
My God.
Finally.
At long last.
Finally.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of giving up on the PS5.
Yeah, well, I've heard like next year for some stuff. From some people I've heard next year. From other people I've heard they're starting to amp up. So
yeah. Well, my budget's a little cut in half right now.
Yeah. But if you ever want to try, Matt Swider on Twitter, just have his post notify you. And if you're looking for a GPU, he also does notifications for that.
Yeah. I gotta build up the nest egg again.
Yep. So I'm gonna buy some games to try out. I'm gonna buy Demon's Souls.
Yes.
Because Demon's Souls, and it looks phenomenal.
Oh, it is.
Graphically looks phenomenal. I'm gonna get Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh, yeah.
Because that game is one of the most gorgeous 2D fighters that I've ever seen, and I've heard like this is the one to get in on, and I've been kind of side-eyeing Guilty Gear. I bought Revelator 2, and it was just far too complicated for me to even get a handle on. But I've heard this one has a really good matchmaking system, so and actually good netcode, so that'll help playing against players of my skill level, which is nil.
Yeah.
And also I've been watching Wooly's Guilty Gear lore videos.
He has lore videos for it?
Yes, he was paid by ArcSys to make lore videos for the series because nobody wanted to go back and watch like multiple 4-hour movies, essentially multiple seasons of anime. The guy even found footage of the pachinko game.
That's dedication.
Yes, it is. So I have like one more video for that before I'm completely caught up and ready for Strive.
All right.
That game's story is basically just a shonen anime, which is great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's also dumb, but hey, it's anime.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to get Ratchet and Clank.
Hey, yes.
Because it's
definitely worth it.
It's been a while since I played a 3D platformer, and I'll be entirely honest, I had like zero interest in it until I was listening to the Friendcast, or not friend. I say Friendcast every single time. Castle Super Beast, and Pat was talking about it, and he was talking about how you can unlock things to change like what the nuts and bolts are that you pick up. You can change them into energy drinks. And
that's what I had.
And the
sound is mine.
And the sound effect completely changes. And then he said you can also change the melee weapon, and one of the things you can change it to is literally Keyblade. And I said to myself, okay, I'm buying this game.
Yeah, I did that. I changed my weapon to a Keyblade. It's great.
So it's pitiful, but that was the selling point for me.
The Keyblade. The Kingdom Hearts sequel we wanted.
But I'll also boot up Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII, and see how those look on it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Ghost of Tsushima in particular looks like a next gen game on the PS5.
I'm sure it does.
I wonder if Neo got any updates, because I have Neo on the PS4. I've been wanting to play more of it, but it's one of those games that's just like, it doesn't hook me right away, even though I have a ton of fun playing it.
Yeah, nobody does Souls games like From, so
yeah,
understandable.
Well, it's good, but in a different way, and the satisfaction a lot of people get is from the end game, where it just becomes Dark Souls Diablo.
Oh, really?
Yes, the loot that you get has like separate abilities on it, and you make builds like you would in Diablo.
Interesting.
Huh.
Like I've heard from people, you play Neo 1 until you finish it, then you play Neo 2 until you're done, because you can just go forever.
Wow.
So that is the big PS5 announcement. I'll be able to talk more about that next time.
Yes.
And it'll
be I'm excited.
I'm
excited for you.
And I'll be entirely honest, one of the things I'm excited about is being able to play Black Flag again, because I've been having a hankering for Black Flag, but it's on my PS4, and my PS4 controller is dying, so so still I can't wait.
Yeah. So I might try and figure out how many graphic mods I can fit on Morrowind with this bad boy.
Oh boy, all of them.
Every single one I can find.
Oh, dude, you could get that mod of Skyrim where the people just modded in the entirety of Morrowind
or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Skywind or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Skywind or something. That'll be cool to try. I played a board game. With my brother called Inish, which is spelled INIS.
Okay.
But it's pronounced Inish because it's frickin' Celtic.
Oh dear.
So technically it probably could be pronounced Innis, but you'd have like 5 scholars saying it's pronounced 5 different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic board game that I played once before with him, and I played it again with him, and I beat him again, which always feels good.
Yeah.
It's a game where you kind of build out the map in different segments, and the segments each have like different abilities associated with them. So you like try to, if you're the chieftain of this area, you get an ability. And one of them is the plains, which is just a dreary picture of rainy plains, and the ability you get from the plains is you can leave the plains.
Interesting.
Other abilities are like when you use this card, you can do this action, or you can, as an action, you can move people into this area, things like that.
And then nope, just leave the plains.
Or you can just leave the plains. But there's like 3 different ways to win. It's all Celtic themed, and that's one of the big draws to it. But there's 3 ways to win, and if at the end of the turn, if 2 people both are winning, both fulfill one of the victory conditions, the game keeps going. It keeps going until someone gets 2 victory conditions, or if one person becomes the Bren, which is you control the main area, then that's a tiebreaker and things like that. And the way it works is your actions are all these cards, and at the beginning of each turn, you shuffle the deck of green cards. You put one to the side. Then you deal all the other cards out evenly between the players. And each player looks at their cards, takes like, I can't remember, it's 1 or 2, keeps those and passes the others to the next player, and you do that like 3 or 4 times depending on how many players you have. So you know kind of what cards other people have, and it's the same cards every round. So it's a ton of fun. And there's these epic tale cards, which are these supposedly like these big superpower cards that have pictures of gods and mythological heroes on them. I believe there's at least one with Cuchulainn somewhere on there. And you would think, okay, these are the big superpower cards. They are, but they're extraordinarily specific.
Mm-hmm.
It is very powerful in this very specific situation. So it's like when you have a combat, you can make sure nobody gets into a citadel in this time, or whenever you do this, whenever you play one of these cards, you can do this action, this very specific action, or you can move some up to 3 people anywhere on the board. But it's a ton of fun. It's probably one of my favorite board games. I wouldn't say it's up there with my favorites, which are Treasure Island and War of the Ring, but it's like a tier below that.
Nice.
While I've been playing lots of Final Fantasy XIV, I've also listened to some more of those Doctor Who radio dramas.
Oh, yeah.
And those are a ton of fun. There was one where they go to a planet where these people are named after like Greek gods, so there's Zeus and Hera and Ares, and they're not actually gods, but they have technology that they call magic to fool people, and to make themselves live forever, they've cloned themselves and switched their consciousness with their clones.
I feel like this is also very similar to a Star Trek episode.
It probably is.
I feel like you could make like a game of Star Trek or Doctor Who where you just give a plot summary.
You could probably do that game and it also add in Star Wars Expanded Universe.
Yeah, you could.
Specifically the old Expanded Universe, but you know, that's had to kill that. Couldn't keep it around.
Unfortunately.
And there's another one where they go to this kind of, if I remember right, it was kind of a ski resort, but there's this monster that eats people out in the ski resort, but people keep going outside because they don't believe it. And the monster is actually using their energy to summon like demons from another dimension or something like that. It's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. And speaking of Doctor Who, I have been watching more of Doctor Who.
Yeah, what have you been thinking of what you've seen so far?
Well, I've gotten through season 8, and season 8 was fantastic. Peter Capaldi's first season was freaking great.
All right.
Kind of making me want to get back to Doctor Who. Is there like a good like episode watch and skip list somewhere?
I don't know. I really don't know, because like some of the season 7 episodes are just not good. But you kind of need some of them.
Some of them are very plot important.
Some of them are plot important. You could probably, if I remember right, you could probably skip a bunch of, like, after Clara's introduced, you could probably skip to the finale, I think. Or the last 3, which would be the end of the season, the 50th anniversary, and the Christmas special. You could probably do that. But Clara in season 8 is actually alright. She's not as good as... She's like maybe around Martha's level of companion, where she's fine. She's more charming than Martha, but she has probably less... There's less meat than Martha. So, it's pick your poison. There was one episode that was absolutely terrible, and I was laughing the entire time. Kill the Moon.
Do they kill the moon?
Yes. No.
Wow.
No, they don't. No, they don't. The big choice is, do they kill the moon? It turns out the moon's an egg.
Oh, shoot.
The moon is an egg. And these researchers who go out to the moon are attacked and killed by these giant spiders. And the doctor, for some dumb reason, has taken this grade school girl with them, and she's almost attacked by one of the giant spiders, but she sprays it with some disinfectant spray. And they say, what'd you do? And she says, I don't know. It kills 99.9% of all germs. And it turns out that the spiders are germs.
Oh, nice.
So the
Very good.
disinfectant killed
Not
them.
how that works.
No, the disinfectant killed them because they're germs.
Of course.
It kills
All my spiders are
99.9% of all germs. And then
That's
it
beautiful.
just gets even more and more stupid, where it's like, okay, this thing is going to hatch and it is probably going to destroy the earth. And then the doctor's like, no, we can't kill it. Why would you kill an innocent life? It's not. And I'm just thinking, to save like billions of innocent lives? Yeah, probably.
It's like, oh, no, I thought you liked humans.
I'm guessing he finds a way around killing
Yes, they
it.
do find a way around it.
Of course.
And it's terrible, except for like the very last moment where the doctor has a really good line, and I can't remember if this is the specific line or if this is the line from the next episode where he says sometimes the only choices you have are between two bad things, but you still have to choose. And it's like, that's a really good line.
Yeah.
I just wish it didn't rely on such a stupid episode. But hey, they got their bad episode out of the way, and then the finale was a good amount of fun.
All right.
So, like, does Earth just not have a moon anymore?
I don't know. I don't know.
They didn't clarify that?
They might have clarified it, but I was just like out of my mind, like, what is happening that I don't even remember if they have a moon anymore. Oh boy, what a dumb episode. But hey, every season of Doctor Who, it seems, has at least one terrible episode.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yes, season 2 had Love and Monsters.
Yeah.
That was season. Wait, was that season 2 or 3? When was the Absorbaloff? I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was bad. That's all I remember. No, I remember a lot more, but it was bad. But then I've gotten into season 9. Season 9's been pretty great so far. There's been a lot of two-parters that I've noticed. Like the first episodes were a two-parter. Then I think like right after that there was another two-parter, and then right after that there's another two-parter. And I'm like, okay, that's a lot. Like I like these. I like these stories. And there was one that was a really like just the perfect explanation of the bootstrap paradox.
Oh, nice.
Do you know? Are you guys familiar with the bootstrap paradox?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so Mitchell, you're a time traveler. You really like Beethoven. Beethoven's like your hero. He's so cool. So you go back in time to meet Beethoven, and you're in Beethoven's time, and you walk around, and everyone's like, who's Beethoven? I've never heard of this person. And you can't find Beethoven anywhere. Nobody knows who Beethoven is. So you're like, oh no. So then, luckily, because you're a big Beethoven fan, you brought all your sheet music to have him sign it, and you just start publishing that as Beethoven. And and then everyone knows who Beethoven is, and Beethoven's super cool and all that stuff. And you have saved history. But here's the question: who wrote the music?
Dun dun dun.
Who wrote Beethoven's Fifth Symphony?
If you like that, I would highly recommend watching Dark, because basically the entire show of Dark is that.
Oh boy.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Boy. Time travel shenanigans.
Yep.
Man, time travel's dumb.
Yeah.
It's great.
But it's dumb fun.
It's dumb fun. Steins Gate was really good.
It was.
So I've heard very good things about the episode Heaven Sent. So that comes towards the end of season 9.
All right.
So I will have to judge for myself, but so far Capaldi is a breath of fresh air in Doctor Who, because the man is completely different from the previous 3 doctors. And he's most similar to Christopher Eccleston most of the time.
Huh. Interesting.
But then he has moments of kind of weird, goofy Flanderization where it's like, okay, this is more like Matt Smith, where he's just very awkward in social situations, but not like, it's not like he himself is feeling awkward. It's that he does things that it's like, oh, you don't know how to interact with people, but he's been alive for over 2,000 years at this point.
Yeah,
And
that's classic Doctor Who right there.
Yeah, but it's not, because in like he can be weird at times. Like there's episodes where he's just gone up to a random person and started talking basically nonsense to them, but it's not like he's completely forgetting, like, oh, these people are really terrified right now and I'm making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been like that, but now it is, and it's like, I don't like it. But hey, it can always get worse.
I meant it was classic in the sense that like each Doctor has some brand new personality that changes, that's sort of different to how they were before.
Yeah, but it's like there's a moment where Capaldi's Doctor is in like this situation, and there's someone has just died, but they've come back as a ghost, and he's nerding out like, oh my gosh, ghosts, oh, it's so cool and everything, and everyone's like, our friend just died, and then Clara pulls him aside and gives him like note cards that he reads off of. I am sorry for what I said. I will do whatever I can to save your friend / neighbor / pet. And it's like, that's funny, but that's really not the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like you'd never see like David Tennant's Doctor doing something like that. He'd be nerding out about the ghost, but he'd also be sensitive to people like mourning a death. And Matt Smith's Doctor had some moments like that too towards the end. Like there's one where he doesn't realize that he's got some like perception filter on where it looks like he's wearing clothes, but it's not working for most people, so he's actually naked, and it's making things very awkward, and he's like, I think this might be making things awkward. And it's like, you would know, Doctor, come on. But at this point, it's more nitpicks and small moments that I don't like, whereas later on, the Doctor is completely out of character, so hey, it can always get worse.
I was about to say, I'm sure you have absolutely nothing to look forward to.
Yep. I really look forward to Chibnall just gutting a storyline that was 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
Like the Gallifrey storyline between Russell T Davies and Moffat was like 10 years in the making. And then Chibnall just like, who cares? Let me just do this for a get rid of it for a shock value in episode 1 of season 2, or my second season. Because then everyone goes, whoa, oh my gosh, how could it have happened? And then the people who care are like, this is stupid. But hey, that's Chibnall era Doctor Who for you.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten there, and I'm already complaining. Oh, great. I love it. It gives me life. So, that is, I believe, it for me.
All right. Good stuff.
Well, that's a podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Good podcast. Good going.
Podcast. We did it.
High fives all around.
Boom.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And now, for the music today, I dedicate this to in memoriam of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, which is shutting down in a couple of hours at the time of recording.
And we'll throw in Final Fantasy Mobius in there just for good effect.
Yes, in memoriam for Final Fantasy Mobius as well. And all the other gacha games that people have spent hundreds of dollars on, if not thousands, over the years that got shut down. Sorry guys, you should have played Fate Grand Order or Genshin Impact.
I mean, Mobius is the sole reason I don't ever want to play Genshin Impact, because I'm just scared of it happening again.
It'll happen. It can always happen. Don't let friends play Genshin Impact.